Happy 4th of July, everybody. This is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about Live Free or Die Hard, the 2007 movie directed by Len Wiseman. Len Wiseman is best known for creating the Underworld franchise. The vampires versus the werewolf movie. He's also written that one werewolf episode in Batman the Animated Series. That man loves werewolves. So anyway, he directed the fourth installment of the Die Hard franchise, and he did an amazing job. This movie is awesome. I saw this movie in college, and it was actually the first ever Die Hard movie I've ever seen. I've never seen the first three. I know. But I'm not a big movie buff, so I just didn't see it. And I haven't even thought about them until just now. So I might go back and try to find them. But then again, when I was in college, I remember one was on TV. It's the one with Samuel L. Jackson. And I just remember Bruce Willis walking into like a black neighborhood with a sign that had like the N word on it and crap like that, trying to get his attention. So I just never decided to watch that movie. But then after the success of this movie, I decided to watch what's that other one? A Good Day to Die Hard. I hated that movie so much. A Good Day to Die Hard was terrible. And I mean, it was terrible. And of course, it ended the franchise. Now, they've been trying to get like a sixth movie up and going, but nothing so far. And even though Bruce Willis has sadly been, he sadly now has like dementia and stuff like that. He said he would still like to act, but I just don't see that happening, especially with his wife saying how ill his condition is and stuff. But like with this movie, this one deals with that of cyber terrorism, something a lot of people fear because computers and the internet controls everything now. So if that goes down, it really will be like we're back in the Stone Age and stuff. It's kind of like when your city gets hit by like a national disaster type storm and all the power is out and the internet's out and you have to like use candles and stuff like that. Just imagine if it'd be like that for over 10 years or so. Some people won't be able to cope. And because we rely so much on computers and the internet, it's gonna be a really hard time to get back to civilization and readjust and everything. And that's basically what the whole premise of this movie is about. And the reason why I'm talking about this on 4th of July is because, the events of this movie take place on the 4th of July weekend and stuff. And I remember when me and my friend watched this in college, we thought it was like just like the coolest thing. That he's watched the other Die Hard movies, but with this one, they have like the whole Hollywood computer stuff where people can just hack anything in a matter of seconds, tapping on a keyboard, never using a mouse and everything, and just like all kind of high tech like sci-fi that nobody can understand. But it's so cool, so you just believe it like whatever, you know what I'm saying? And when it comes to that of the Die Hard movies, it's actually based on a book called Nothing Lasts Forever, where the main character is John Leyland, and of course, they just renamed him to John McClane and stuff. I forget when exactly that book came out. But it was back in like the old days. And so, but this movie's actually based on a article in Wired magazine from 1997 called "A Farewell to Arms," and it was written by John Carlin. Oh wait, that whole "Nothing Lasts Forever" that came out in 1979. So yeah, but the title of the movie is based on a New Hampshire, like the motto and everything. And so with this movie, I recognize a lot of people, some before and a little bit now. Like, I knew who Bruce Willis is, even though I've never really seen him in any movies except for Kill Bill. It's odd how I've never seen this dude in like no movies, but I do love action movies, but I just never seen him in anything. Maggie Q, who I didn't know at that time, and man, she was amazing in this movie. And of course, she went on to be in Nikita on the CW, and but she was also had a cameo in the second Rush Hour movie. I can't believe they wasted her talents just having her be a hot girl in a car for all of like 5 seconds. And so Mary Elizabeth Winstead, she plays Lucy McClane in this movie. And in I think the third movie, it was actually Rumor Willis, but they wanted to go with a more established actress because, you know, even though I like Rumor, she's not the best actress and stuff. And, you know, she went on to do one of those Final Destination movies. And then, of course, you have that of Justin Long, who I didn't know at that time, but, you know, he was played Alvin in Alvin and the Chipmunks. And you have Timothy Orf or something like that. Oliphant. He plays, you know, Thomas Gabriel. And I remember him as Mickey from Scream 2. So when I saw him in this movie, which much like grayish hair, older looking appearance, I'm like, it's Mickey and stuff. And also, there is Clive Clifton. No, that's not his name. No, Clive Curtis. He plays Miguel Bowman, and he's playing a Hispanic dude, but the dude's actually Mari. So I hate when they do that. Like, just cast a Hispanic dude, or just change the race to where he's Mari and stuff. They didn't explain his ethnicity, so they could just went with that, with a more Mari sounding name, or just a traditional regular name and stuff. Now, Tim Russ has a cameo as an NSA officer, and I think Lynn said he was in Star Wars or some crap like that. But the dude's from Star Trek Voyager. But if he didn't say Star Wars, then he said another Star Trek series, but the wrong series. I'm like, come on, man. The man was Tuvok, man, from Star Trek Voyager. Get it right. But yeah, this movie was actually supposed to be titled Tears of the Sun. And they had a completely different script with like a drug lord and like all this other stuff. But then they decided to scrap that version and then come up with cyber terrorism. But then Bruce Willis said he liked the title and the premise of Tears of the Sun so much that he made like a movie about that, you know, with the requirement that he'll make this movie. Tears in the Sun didn't do very well in the box office, but this movie did. So much that it got greenlit for the fifth movie, but the fifth movie didn't do so well. Now, one thing both Bruce and Lynn wanted to do was limit their time of CGI. Not having that many like visual effects and try to go with more practicality. Thank God, cause it looked more real in this movie. I love the part, like the action scenes are incredible. Now, of course, you know, they used CGI when he had the car and he launched it into like that plane and stuff, or like a helicopter. That was CGI, but it still looked good. But one of the like real shots was when he was on that jet fighter and stuff. That looked so cool because it was so real looking and stuff. And that's what I miss about movies. I miss like props and stuff. I'm so sick and tired of CGI that it gets on my nerves. Oh yeah, Kevin Smith is in this movie and stuff. I forgot to mention him. He actually did some rewrites of this movie. And so the action scenes in this movie are top notch. The car chase scenes are very fresh and innovative. The gun shooting, like, you know, whatever work they had to use, like on a wire, the CGI. Like a lot of this stuff is, you know, was starting to pick up around like, you know, the 2010s, but started in a little bit the late 2000s and stuff. 20, or 2000s or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And so like, you know, this is when you started getting more like realistic, like military style, like, you know, shooting and more high chase speed car chases and stuff, you know, from like the Fast and Furious movies. So a lot of those movies really did help to advance Hollywood and stuff. And Lynn said, he didn't want to go with so much CGI because of the Transformer movies. Because even though those movies look impressive, they look so fake and computer generated and stuff. And so basically, this movie, like I said, deals with cyber terrorism. And I would hate if that was to ever happen in the real world, but there's a good possibility it might, but might not. Who knows? And so, like, basically, there's this really good computer programmer hacker dude named Matthew Farrell, played by Justin Long. And so, basically, this woman named Mia Lynn, she wanted him to create like a computer program, but not only him, but a bunch of other hackers because she works for Gabriel. And because she's like his girlfriend and like, his enforcer and stuff like that. So basically, once they got the program that they needed, they just executed like all the hackers and stuff like that. And basically, a computer virus was uploaded on the computer, and when the computer would freeze out, they try to hit like the escape button, it would like just like blow up from like C4 and stuff. So once Matthew had the actual program that he needed, he used it to shut down like, the internet and like computers and stuff. And, since like, everything runs on those, it pretty much just like blanketed America. Everything's in chaos and stuff like that. And the program was used to hack like an NSA facility that he needed because it turns out that Thomas Gabriel used to work for the NSA, and he warned them that after like, September 11th, that like, America could be vulnerable again, so they need to back up all their stuff on a single like, hard drive and everything, all the US money, files, things like that. And he said that, the facility which they have it in, it could be breached with like a computer virus or whatever or something like that. So they didn't believe him, so he took a laptop and he shut down like the system. And they pretty much just forced him out of like the program. They took away all his assets, all his money, so he feels that America owes him big time. He's basically out revenge, and he's really, really bitter. So after doing this, the feds and everything, they need the cyber division and like, I think like the government, they need like the last hacker and stuff. So they send John in, and because he's like a local, he doesn't want to do it. He's trying to reconcile with his daughter, who doesn't want nothing to do with him. Lucy is pissed off at John because he's never home, and he's always working or saving the world, because only John can do it and stuff, because he's that guy. And so like it causes a lot of resentment, and she wants nothing to do with him. I like Mary's performance in this one, and it really pissed me off that they focused on his son in the fifth movie and only had her as like a small role in the fifth. They also changed her personality and stuff. So he wants to deal with his family, but he has to do his job. And so while trying to save that Matthew, he's constantly being attacked by that of like Gabriel's like enforcement dudes. So it's basically domestic cyber terrorism. And so he's basically just fighting terrorists and stuff. And he's having a hard time trying to evade these dudes because they always somehow find out where he's at. And not only that, but him and Matthew can't get along. John is very old school, and Matthew is very new school and stuff. And so they're constantly bickering back and forth. It's kind of like a nice little buddy cop type movie and everything. And so at some point, when they keep losing, and they keep losing bad, even though they keep taking out all the bad guys, they keep losing because Gabriel's like so many steps ahead. the power grid finally gets shut down and everything to where now there's no power in like half of like America. So they go to this one dude named Warlock, which is played by Kevin Smith. He's a nerd that lives at home in the basement of his mother and everything, and he's like a middle-aged man, and he's just a super geek. And he knows that it's Gabriel behind all this, but you know, they don't know why, so he explains why and stuff. So, next thing you know, for leverage, Gabriel kidnaps Lucy. And so John has to go after her. And Matthew decides to like follow to help out and everything, since this is all his fault with his program. And so when they go to, I think it's, I'm gonna say NORAD, but I don't think it's that. That one NSA facility they have to go to. And so, like, you know, while they get split up, they fight some bad guys. He forces Matthew to, like, you know, get back into, like, the program, because Matthew did some kind of, like, you know, super hackery thing to block them out. But he refuses to, so they basically just, like, shoot him and, like, you know, I think, like, the leg or something like that. And they threaten Lucy's life. He's trying to buy John as much time as possible. And, you know, till John can, like, fight the bad guys and this and that. Boy, that fight scene in the elevator with John and, like, Maya and stuff like that, that was amazing. Not to mention, like I said before, that whole, like, jet fighter thing. And so, of course, you know, while they're mobile and everything, John is in pursuit because he just wants his daughter, man. And so, like, he shoots up everybody, you know, and he takes out, like the bad guy and everything. No, wait. I think he gets shot and he's almost about to die. Yeah, and then Matthew takes out the bad guy and stuff. This causes Lucy to kind of, like, you know, form, like, a crush on him, which John does not like at all. But now him and Lucy have completely reconciled and everything. And in the fifth installment, they get along much nicer, and her personality has completely shifted to where she's no longer angry. But yeah, there's an unrated version, which I have on DVD. And I suggest getting the unrated version than like the theatrical version, because it's so much better and stuff. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.